Okay, looks like we're live here. Looks like we're good to go. Welcome everybody to this very special live stream. I'm really excited for this live stream. I've been thinking about it often, and I'm glad that it's here in fruition for today. And it's such a beautiful day, and it's perfect timing. It's almost the middle of the week, and I know a lot of people get fatigued during the week. As the week is on to its start. And this is a very special one because it's been a while since I've talked to a client that's been through this mentorship thinking into results. And I really, connected with him early. And I'm glad that he's, dedicating a little bit of his time to share his experience with it. And I'm not going to spoil where he's from. We're just going to kind of jump on camera and talk about it a little bit. And please welcome Mr. Campbell here. Hopefully we're all good.
Hey, buddy. Hey, Jamal.
How's it going today?
Not too bad. Yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm doing awesome. I just got off of a 2-hour bike ride, so I'm extra relaxed.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Great weather today. We've had probably over 100 degrees for the last 5 days. So
wow, so it finally broke.
Yeah, around
same
80s.
here. We had a full day of rain today, but what we needed has been pretty hot and humid.
Yeah. And speaking of here, please share where you're from.
I live in Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. So Atlantic, Canada, on the East Coast.
All right, Canada and East Coast of US here. So, we're global today.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Well, before we hop into it, I'm just going to share a little bit how we met. It's always interesting. I was thinking about it, how you run into different people, that are into personal development and that kind of want more out of life, or they're seeking something. And I'm always open to seeing how I connect with other people in this particular field, because we're all human beings. We all desire more, but sometimes, our own selves hold us back. And it's interesting where connections happen because the way we met, we're pretty much, I wouldn't say perfect strangers, because we talk a little bit in Messenger, we talked on Zoom before this. But we were able to connect beforehand. But we were pretty, we haven't spent years together, and it's cool how paths cross where, I help people with this material. And Mr. Campbell actually went through this, I was about to say 12-month, but 6-month mentorship program. Would you like to share anything of how we met or whatever, or,
Yeah, I recall. I think you had just kind of reached out on Messenger. I think I had it on my Facebook there that I was a mindset student. I don't think there was anything more than that. And I think you just reached out to kind of see how, kind of what I was doing or how my journey was going. And I think I replied that yes. I at that point, it was a couple of months ago. I was 6 months in, just kind of completing lesson 12, I believe, at the time in TIR, and then found out that you were a TIR consultant. So I was like, wow, okay, I think we were meant to chat.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting because you were just finishing up, and I was just reaching out to people that connect with this type of material. And I wanted to hear more about your experience. I always love hearing about how this particular material can shape people's lives in a way and impact them in a positive way. Just thinking offhand, how did you attract this type of material? Was it something you wanted before you ran into this, or was it something that kept speaking to you, or did you feel like you were seeking more? Like, how did you attract thinking into results?
Yeah, well, it's might take a few minutes, but yeah, I was just feeling like I wanted more and needed more. My wife has been into personal development for a lot of years, and I'll be brutally honest, never gave it a second thought for a long time. And I started just following Bob Proctor on YouTube, uh, watching some of his videos. It just kind of resonated with me. I liked what he was saying. Didn't know who he was, anything about him at the time. Ended up reading, one of his books, Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life. And I was like, wow, this is fantastic. To the point where I was making audio recordings from YouTube on my phone, and I'd listen to them driving to and from work each day. And it just, again, not having a lot of background, it put me in a good mood. It got me thinking good things. And it was, I'm a police officer by trade. I work for the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, Canada's federal police force. I've been 22 years. But I also do real estate investing on the side, and I have my real estate license as well. So I'm into real estate, and some of the groups that I'm involved in, there was this guy kind of new to the scene in this group, a couple thousand people in this group. And he was there, and then you never saw him again for 6 or 8 months. And then he reappeared, and he's closing this deal. He's closing this deal. He's closing this deal. He's closing this deal, and on and on and on. And in his write-up, that's kind of what we do to kind of help other people and give advice. He's always saying mindset, 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 mindset first. And I'm like, okay, I have a vague idea, mindset. Like, I mean, I wasn't really positive thinking. That's all I was really relating it to. So I reached out to him on Messenger, and I said, I see what you're doing in real estate. We're in the same group. We recognize each other's names. And what are you doing? that's so different, because he is a rock star compared to everybody else. And we started talking, and he started talking about Bob Proctor. And I said, oh, funny, I've been following him for a couple of months, like no program, just on my own. So then he started telling me about this program that he did, and he had just recently become a consultant with TIR, and he was thinking of, starting a coaching program. So we had a long chat, and without, again, knowing a whole lot, I just was, okay, I'm in. Let me know when, because I want to start this intensively. So when I got into it, I did want more, but I kind of fell into it through a real estate connection. But within a month, real estate was in the backseat. It was there. I knew this program was going to help in anything that I did, anything that anybody does. This is going to help you excel and succeed without a doubt. But what I found is that I was more concerned, or what became more, I guess, passionate for me, was how I felt after a long career. And I'm still in it, and I love my career, but it's a career, you're day in, day out dealing with, negativity, violence, and trauma. That's, you help people, but it's because something happened typically. So what I took from it was, it got me out of a negative hole that I didn't realize I was even in until I started doing this, and just, setting those big goals and focusing on that, focusing on positivity, gratitude. It's completely changed my life, and my wife would say the same, and so would my 2 grown daughters that are home. I have 3, but 2 at home. Just it taught me how to be happy, live positive, and have a positive outlook on the world, because I was admittedly pretty jaded on my outlook. So that's what it became for me, and obviously progressed through all the lessons and over time. But it started out as wanting to, how do I do more with real estate? Whereas now, I wouldn't say I don't care about real estate, but if I never, bought another real estate property again, I could care less. My time in this was worth every minute.
Wow. Yeah. Isn't that interesting where you think you're going this way for this thing and how it takes you somewhere else?
Oh yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
that's our thinking mind, right? Our
Yeah,
conscious mind. And it's funny how there's gifts in different directions. You receive something special when you were seeking something else, but here you go, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. I
Um,
found it teaches you, or myself, I guess my opinion, it teaches you what's truly important, and or it did for me, and that's what I took out of it. It taught me what is the most important in life, and that it's okay to shoot big,
mm,
set those goals, set those big goals, and and go after them, and just concentrating on that your dream life. How can that not put you in a positive state?
right, right. And you
Yeah,
mentioned the word big.
100%, very big. Yeah,
Big is perception, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's different for everybody, but yeah,
Yeah,
just don't shortchange yourself. Whatever you want is out there. It's available. It's possible, and go after it.
I love it. I love it. So you mentioned a lot there. What was that point where you said you wanted, you know, your field is a lot of negativity, right? And challenging. What was that lesson or something that you got from the material that helped you start that shift to that positive polarity?
Um, it was actually like I probably spent a solid month just on lesson one on goal setting, and but in conjunction with that, what I with guidance, what I had started doing was just a like all the lessons in TIR, like they build on each other. They're all fantastic. But what I also found helped me was just a specific morning routine of gratitude, practice of positive thinking, visioneering, meditation. That set my day. I'm an early riser. That set my day. So when I left to go to work, I was in the highest vibration I've ever been in, and I think it was that along with doing the lessons. Of course, that's the meat and potatoes. That's where you're going to get everything. Uh, that's really what set it apart for me. That made me realize that I just wasn't an overly happy person. And when I started becoming aware of why and how I could change it, as I started and progressed through the lessons, that was key for me. Is just being aware of what I was thinking, and that I have the full ability to change it.
Mm, I love that. I love that. Yeah, lesson one, is a great foundation because we get so used to reacting, right, from the
Hmm.
environment and what we see with our eyes and hear with our ears. And gratitude, it's almost it's almost a shield, for
Definitely.
anything you step out the door, you know, the world's effects on other people's consciousness can affect you.
Hmm.
And that's leaning a little bit to lesson four, where you can become aware of your thoughts, you
Yes.
know of how you can react or respond, right? So if you're consciously aware of what you're thinking, good or bad, we always label either way. um, you can accept or reject any thoughts that'll serve you towards your greater self. So you kind of touched it a little bit. Was lesson four kind of like a awakening when they showed the what is it, stick figure, this guy here?
Yeah, that was that. When I got to that lesson, I was like, okay, something clicked. Like just that creative process, from the conscious to the subconscious to the body, the thinking, the feeling, the reaction, action, reaction. It made a lot of things click for me, like hearing Bob talk about it, but the diagram is huge. It's hugely helpful. Very basic. When I first saw it, I'm like, really? But to hear him go through it and to do the lesson in the workbook along with it, man, that was powerful. That was powerful. That really made me understand how just changing a thought, however, however you do it, there's many different ways that people do it, from a negative to a positive thought and feeling that like with emotion, how that can, change your results in time for sure, but how it can change your day and how you feel immediately, how it can, put you in that high vibration almost instantaneously was huge, huge lesson. Yeah.
Yeah. It was funny to me at first as well. Like many, because you just see this little stick man and you're like, what is this guy talking about? But constant repetition, you start
Yeah.
unlearning, the things you've been taught, even unconsciously, and then you learn something of a higher nature. You just become more aware of yourself and your thoughts and how powerful they are and how they shape pretty much
Yeah.
everything, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Because you can easily get affected by the outside. You can let it bring you down and you think negative every day. That's a dark place to go.
Yeah.
I was thinking about doing a live talking about the law of polarity, the different routes you can take, which is ignorance. Bob always said ignorance, which is lack of knowing, or knowledge of self. So there's two different paths you can take. Some we bounce back and forth, right? Because we've been so used to allowing the outside shape who we are and what we believe ourselves to be. So I love that. Okay, so you mentioned, that this affected your family as well in a positive way, and that your wife was in personal development for a while before you got into it. It's funny
Yes.
because we're reverse. I've been into it, and my wife just hears me talk about it all the time. Do you want to share a little bit how it's affected your loved ones?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, my wife, like and I guess I forgot to mention, probably I wasn't in TIR for, I don't think it was a month, and my wife actually joined me. She's gone through the whole program and is, still, we still do the lessons. We're still on weekly calls and stuff like that. So, but yeah, she had she'd been doing it for a lot of years, and I'm glad that she kind of jumped into this with me, and we're doing it together. But I guess it affected them in a way that, I mean, I'm not here to say that I have any type of bad life by any stretch. I don't. I'm very fortunate. I have a great life, great wife, great kids. We're all healthy. But they just, it was just kind of dad. Just, we go out, we have fun, we do things. But I wasn't a laugher. Like I wasn't, yeah, that was fun. You'd never notice any emotion coming out of me, outside of probably if I got frustrated or angry about something. I'd have fun with my family, but I would never look like I'm having fun. I was really in a negative headspace, although my life is fantastic. Even if it's good, living in a negative headspace, it's not great personally. But it was only once I kind of realized, or going through doing personal development, what it felt like to be happy, and that it was in my control, and that I had to take responsibility for how things were, and that I had the responsibility and the ability to change it. That's what they noticed, that I was just happier. I don't know how to necessarily describe it much further, but just day to day, uh, I smiled more, I laughed more. Things didn't get to me. Things that would have, set me off, the silliest, stupidest thing, Not that I'm not an angry person, but just to get annoyed or to get angry over something, that didn't happen anymore. It was just, yeah, okay. This broke or that broke, or I got a fender bender. All right, like, are you okay? We'll look after it. It was just kind of that, like, big things from the outside world, the environment just didn't impact me like they used to, and they noticed it very, very quickly. I don't even know if I was through lesson 2 when they actually mentioned it to me. I don't know what you're doing, Dad, but keep doing it.
I love to hear that. That's awesome. Congratulations too.
Thank you.
I love to hear that. Get back, folks. That reminds me of so many things. You basically you were expressing what was impressed. So
Definitely.
with that knowledge, Bob always talked about, he says, go ahead, stand up. You stand up or you sit down. And you don't try to stand up. You either get up or you sit down. I don't know if you heard him say that before.
Yeah.
Or, the body expresses what's internal. So you naturally smile, you naturally laugh, you naturally frown, or whatever. So what's impressed must be expressed. So as you become happier, you start smiling more. You start laughing.
Absolutely.
You can't think happy and be happy and the body looks angry. There's no, you can't have a poker face when you're like on your birthday and it's the happiest moment in your life, right? So
yeah,
it's natural, right? And that's for every person. Because you can take that person that's just so upset, but if you keep poking and you say something they find humorous, they're going to naturally smile or laugh or let their guard down.
Absolutely.
And that also reminded me of my music career, being a DJ. I'd be in the room with thousands of people, and I wouldn't say I was negative, but I felt alone, with perfect strangers, thousands of people, and everyone, just having fun or whatever. Of course I have my small crew with me or whatever, but it wasn't like a negative thing, but it was like you felt alone in a field of people, right? So I'm sure there's a correlation there between how you feel based on what's happening outside of you. Positive or negative.
For sure.
Yeah. So what other believe it or not, we're talking about thinking into results. I know we mentioned it before, but a lot of times I share bits and pieces of this mentorship, and I share certain things that resonate with me based on the day. Whatever intuition tells me to talk about, I just share it with people. The question I have for you, you've been through how many months? 6-month mentorship, with a great consultant, Bob Proctor, and with other people going through it as well. Going through it together in sequence, like how was that for you, or what did you get out of it, having the lesson after lesson and call after call? What value did you get from that process?
Oh, it was outside of the material, which is incredible. It was the biggest thing. Having a group and to have that accountability to work the program, to have that repetition, because we'd go over it every call. And you can tell if there's people on there that might have fallen off, and that's okay. And, even our coach, like, that's okay. It's just to get back on. And just to be, to have that repetition and consistency. But it was discussing, the lessons and, things that people would bring to the table on these calls that really, I guess, for me at least anyway, it brought the lessons. I guess it just made them more personal when you hear people talk, and as I did when I spoke, about how it affected you personally. And when you actually drill down on the lessons, people like from all walks of life and all backgrounds just interpret things differently. And to hear other people's interpretations on some of the key points of the lessons was huge, because it's some of that stuff. Oh, I never would have thought of that, or I never would have thought of how that would work or how that would impact me. So to hear, many people providing their perspective and input based on their environment or what the program has done for them really helped me learn more and really take everything that I can out of the lessons, because I'm interpreting it my own way. To see that from a group of people, I took so much more than I would have if it had just been me, listening to the lessons and doing the workbook night and day.
Yeah, I love that. One of my mentors, shout out to Todd Barley, he mentioned that in one of our trainings that a lot of people that, go through this mentorship, they get a lot out of the calls with other people than just reading it themselves or watching the videos or taking notes, because it's essentially it's a mastermind, right?
Yeah,
You're
absolutely.
masterminding together,
Yeah.
with like-minded people that have a desire for more. And speaking of desires, this material, it's for anything, not only money, it could be community, it could
Mhm.
be any material thing you want. Obviously, money is connected to that. It could just be a better lifestyle. It could be anything, running your own businesses, as we
Mhm.
mentioned. Um, what would you say for people that are, you know, on the ropes of deciding whether to make that choice to obviously talk to a consultant to begin with, but also make a choice of investing in it, time and monetary wise, to make a difference in their life? Like, what would you tell them that they're kind of like, well, this sounds great, but I always wanted to do this, but I'm kind of afraid to, because fear can do two things. It can make you move, that,
Yeah.
or it can hold you
Yeah.
still, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, please share your thoughts on that.
Well, I guess to start, it's the best decision you'll ever make. You'll never regret it. Guaranteed. The best time financial investment I've ever made in my life. Um, it might take me a minute to think, because it's so much. There's no negative. It's all positive. You want to know how to go after what you want in life. This program is going to show you how to do it. And I'll just use a personal example. Yes, I'm in real estate as a side gig. That's kind of what I'm going to be doing in retirement, because that's what I want to do. I already know right now I'm going to retire many, many, many years before was originally planned. Talking about masterminds, I am in one. I am in two. Just by working this program, I have gone from being an independent, smaller side, few properties in the province that I live in, to going to be forming a major partnership with a group of very experienced real estate investors on an international scale. That is not something that I ever would have ever thought. And not just one group, but two that are going after massive, massive properties in in the United States, in Canada, and that's just on the setting your goals for what you want. That's going to help me live the lifestyle that I want. But a massive part of what I want and what I have set, and I don't mind sharing, is helping other people achieve what I have. And I don't mean the real estate. I mean living a happy, positive life, full of gratitude and giving. If there's one thing that this program has taught me, I mean, people give in different ways, but we've started giving on a level that I never thought of. And the joy and happiness that I get from that, it's indescribable. So the program has taken me to places where I know I'm going to achieve my goals. I can see things unfolding in front of me that again, you set those C goals, set them because you're going to get there. If you work the program, you're going to get there. Whatever that happens to be for any individual. But yeah, if there's any hesitation, man, I wish I could give you that nudge because I know you'll never look back. It's literally life-changing. You want a happy life, full of gratitude, peace. This is the way you're going to get it, without a doubt.
I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you for sharing that. And you are giving them a nudge with your words here.
Well, I hope it's. I couldn't say enough. I couldn't say enough. And I have, I'm in a large group, and I could give you 4 or 5 dozen other people that are going to say the same thing, that are in various stages of the TIR program. But yeah, it's the feedback, and when we have group discussion, and of course everyone in the group reaches out and chats amongst themselves to help people out, and you connect with certain people, and the conversations are always the same, and the feedback is very consistent. People get different things from it, but one thing that is consistent is that people are positive, people are happy, people are grateful, and people are giving and helping others more than they ever have. There's nothing bad in that. It's all good.
Yeah, I love that. The gift of giving.
Yeah.
Right. And leave everyone with the impression of increase.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
and
huge.
Yeah, that's adding wood to the fire. So I love that. I love that because, when you give, obviously the universe gives you more to give, and it's a cyclical thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. What you put out, you get back. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Put out positive, put out giving. The whole point of giving isn't to get something back. That's 100%. It has to be pure giving. But whether you want it or not, it's going to come back. That's just the way. It's just the way it works. You put out good, you're going to get good back.
Yeah, unconditionally. Yep. Yeah. Okay, awesome. I can't believe we talked for half an hour already. It flew by.
Yeah, that was quick. That was quick.
Yeah. First I want to say, lastly, I want to say thank you, for your time, and thank you just for sharing a little bit, of your 6 months of going through this material within 30 minutes. If you ever want to come back, just let me know. We can do another weekend or another month or whatever, and we can talk more specifically, about your journey.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I appreciate the opportunity, Jamel, and I'm happy anytime. Absolutely.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. So to close here, let's flip it. Is there anything you want to ask me? Intuition told me that.
Yeah. I guess I was like our group fairly big, but I was one of the the original 15, that started. So everyone that's kind of at the same point, like now, I finished lesson 12 a couple of months ago, but I just went right back into doing them again. So I'm going through the whole program again. It's just become a habit now. That's what I do in the morning. That's what I do throughout the day or evening. It's all personal development at different points in the day, and the lessons and the workbook are a part of that. So I've just continued. But what I've asked other people when we talk, and I don't know, it's not an easy question. I don't know if to answer. Not that it's difficult, but I've just asked, Is there a lesson that has had a greater impact? They're all good, they're all important, they all build on each other, but is there a specific lesson that has had a, I guess, a more significant impact or an aha moment through your journey?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's so hard for me to choose just one lesson.
Mm-hmm.
um, the first one was lesson 2, the knowing doing gap. It's basically the gap. For those that don't know, the knowing doing gap is what you know and what you actually do. And transitioning from a traditional job or a traditional field and corporate compared to being an entrepreneur, I had to kind of shift the essence of who I am, the identity I attached to for decades. And to do that, I really had to change myself and kind of adapt to what I know. I had all this knowledge, but I wasn't doing what I knew I should do. And I knew what that was. That's the paradigm as well. But the paradigm is connected between what we do and what we know we should do. You want to close that gap. So lesson 2 is very special to me because
Mm-hmm.
I wrote down non-productive activities and productive activities. So when I was writing down non-productive activities, I was like, holy crap. I watch 2 to 3 hours of television before bed, with my family every day. I did that for a long time, sometimes more. I remember writing down, I used to play video games.
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned, what game was it? Ice hockey on the
All
call.
right. Yeah.
So I used to be a gamer. I didn't realize how much time that took away from, I was young. So just going in this material, I became more aware of my time, especially, we're both parents and stuff and how to value time. So knowing your non-productive activities, and we all get the same 24 hours in a day. Bob always
Mm-hmm.
said that, you can't manage time, you manage activities.
Yeah.
And this is what we're doing right now, right? We're managing an activity. And
Absolutely.
you do the best you can with the time that you're given. So there's no guarantee, make the best of each moment. And that I really got a lot out of that lesson. Lesson 4 is a big one too, because I didn't know the power of my thoughts. I didn't know that. I allowed outside circumstances to shape how I thought, because I didn't realize if you're not aware of yourself, you're the plaything for outside sources.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to be a plaything? So I'm
Yeah.
becoming a center of what I choose to create. The type of people I attract, like yourself, um, the value I give out. And which lesson was it? The law of vibration. I think it's lesson, I should know this. I think 10, I believe. It's up there. It's towards the end. The law of vibration, your attitude,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Attitude. Yeah.
Attitude. And that was based on law of vibration. So those are some big ones there for me. But the lesson 2 hit me right away. And also lesson 1, because we get so used to not using our imagination. It's just
Yeah.
underutilized as you become an adult. You get a paycheck every 2 weeks or whatever. You stop dreaming, unfortunately. You don't stop, but you put it on the back burner, right?
Yeah.
And I always been a kid with a big imagination, and it feels good to really tap back into that. It really does. It's refreshing. I imagine having these type of conversations, and it's beautiful to see them and manifested, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I know it's a long answer, but that's part of it.
No, I thought that was great because I know, like, with lesson 1, after you set that goal, it's funny you mentioned lesson 2 because it is a difficult question, but 2 and 3, if I had to pick, although they're all so awesome, it was just understanding the paradigm and how much control that has until you understand it, you don't know. But once you know, wow, that my paradigm's controlling the results in my life, and understanding that and learning how to change it enables all the lessons after that to kind of have the impact that they're meant to have. But if you're not doing the work to change that paradigm through the learning, through the repetition, in my own opinion, the rest is hard to build on. If you have to understand and know how to change that paradigm. And once you put the work and effort in to do that, man, it's wide open.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Most people don't know what they're up against, right? So
but once you do, you're going to get all the tools from this program you need.
Yeah. You're the only problem and the only solution.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome call. Awesome. I can talk to you like for hours, Mr. Campbell. So, but I got to pick up my daughter from dance school. So
you go do that for sure.
But thanks again, for your time. I'll reach out, you want to do something more specific or whatever, I'm open to it.
Sure.
I know you're very busy. So, blessings to you, the family. Again, I can't thank you enough.
You as well. Thank you.
I'll send you the link or whatever. You can share it with whoever you want. And also shout out to your consultant that helped you through this material and all the other clients, that you journeyed through as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And of course, if anything's said here that kind of spoke to you a little bit, just feel free to, you can obviously reach out to me, more details about this mentorship program. And, if Mr. Campbell wants to talk a little bit about his experience, either way, we're here to help, and provide value. So thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your day. I think I'm an hour ahead of you, I think.
Yes. Or an hour behind.
Behind.
Yeah.
I'll get it right. All right. Have a good one. Thanks again.
Take care.
Take care.